put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning. It's 7 a.m. Today is Monday, the 1st of November, 2021. And this is Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are indeed happy to be here with you. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George. Really happy to be in Tobago's company this morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Julian?
We're giving thanks. We're giving thanks. It's a beautiful morning. The energy is high. It's exciting as usual. And Rhea, I came in from outside, you know, just as I was driving from uptown Scarborough. Yes, because we are coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Coming down, and you know, you're enjoying the breeze on that morning. That's the point where you turn off, make sure that AC is off, and you're getting the wind flowing through, enjoying the whole energy and experience. Rhea, we had so many things happening this weekend.
A lot of exciting things happening this weekend. A lot of birthdays, a lot of anniversaries, you know, activities. We missed you.
Yes.
Tell us what's been happening over the weekend with you.
Well, before we even go into the weekend, I don't want to miss this opportunity to call out. We had a number of birthday celebrations over the course of the weekend. Starting up at first with my very good friend, Kenisha Tom, out there in Jamaica. Yes, we see you. I trust that you had an enjoyable birthday. And certainly, I know for you, the celebrations continue. We also want to have birthday shout-outs to Miss Erla Hazel. In fact, over the course of the weekend, we also had Zia Hackett celebrating her birthday. We also had Charles Adams celebrating his birthday as well. Today, we move into the lineup. Oh, how can I forget my cousin Khadija O'Connor? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you as well, Khadija. And today, we have celebrating Nikilia Fonelier. Happy birthday to you, and we trust that you have an enjoyable one. Everyone celebrating a birthday in Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, and the region. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself.
Well, I've got some as well, Julian. Pastor Sean Melville of Goodwood celebrated his birthday yesterday. Celebrating their birthday today is my good friend Marlene Franklin Dufferin, celebrating her birthday today. And I want to send a special shout out to a family in Argyle. So Miss Vicky Wilson of Argyle, Alana and the family, good morning to you. A special good morning to you. It could be morning, it could be noon, it could be night. Whenever I pass in front of this woman's house, I greet her with morning, and she shouts back morning. You know, morning, noon, or night. So happy day going out to you, Miss Vicky Wilson of Argyle, Tobago. Yeah, so Julian, interesting things happening today. It's Monday, the 1st of November. We're into a brand new month. We are almost a month and 3 weeks away from Christmas. I know there are persons already who are looking forward to Christmas already. Lights are already up, planning, you know, a lot of stuff happening in the background.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Like Christmas, yes, in the pockets too. Now, Julian, with regards to today being the 1st of November, we look at all restaurants, bars and casinos operating under the Safe Zone initiative. And they will be allowed to resume full service, including the sale and consumption of alcohol on the premises to all vaccinated patrons. These entities will, however, continue to be limited to a maximum operational capacity of 50%. And that's as of today, Monday the 1st.
And you know what's very interesting? The fact for us that there, as of today, November the 1st, we also have a number of additional items that come in VAT-free.
Yes.
By way of the Minister of Finance's announcement. But something tells me Trinidad and Tobago, we are more excited about the reopening of safe zones and the bars than we may be about VAT-free items. That excitement to be able to go out. And you know, it's just, again, we always take the opportunity to remind persons, let's not forget that we have to practice the safety protocols. Ensure that we practice the safety protocols, that you're wearing your mask, especially when you're not consuming a beverage. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the regulation speaks to the fact that you're only allowed to do it on the premises. All right. Yeah. So just before we wrap this first segment this morning, we just want to remind them of our lineup. Sponsors for the show: Courts, Port Mall, Caroline Birchwood James, Here Sanctuary. And you can tune in to us. Where can they tune in to us, Rhea?
At M&E TV. You can catch us on Flow at channel 111, Digicel channel 20, Amplayer channel 117, Airlink channel 10, Blink channel 109, and the Trico Industries Limited channel 154.
All right. So viewers, yes, you are viewing Tobago Updates morning show. When we return, we'll be chatting with Leanne Warner Rivers. We go to a break. Keep focused. Stay right here with us. Continue to share the live. We'll be right back.
Time shop at Quartz. We got all the things you want.
It's showtime at Quartz. Shop today and save big on a wide selection of items. Get the best style and variety in furniture. Choose from the world's leading brands in appliances and electronics, plus the latest tech just for you. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 90 days. It's showtime at Quartz, bringing value home.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are chatting this morning with Leanne Warner Rivers, and she's the founder of Let's Conquer Math Academy. Good morning and welcome to Leanne.
Good morning, Ria. How are you?
I am doing quite well, and how are you this morning?
I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm good, thanks.
Did it take a lot for you to get here?
Yes, because this is not me at all.
These are not your hours.
No, it's not really my hours, but I'm preferred to be the behind-the-scenes person,
Not
on
upfront.
camera. Yes.
Don't worry, I can understand that.
Okay.
Now, Leanne, let's talk a little bit here about the academy, Let's Conquer Math Academy, when it started, and what was the genesis behind it?
Okay, Ria, so Let's Conquer Math started in 2016 unofficially. I had a few friends of mine who would have said to me, Leanne, why don't you tutor, classes on your own? Because I started off teaching in 2010 under Mr. Lutus Moses at Math House in Signal Hill. And I taught there up until 2016. Okay. And I said, no, this is not what I want to do. I just prefer working alongside Mr. Moses, helping him, etc. And then they begged, and I started with a friend called Stacy and her daughters. And then eventually other family friends asked my mom and other persons, well, Leanne keeping her own classes and stuff, and mom would say yes, and they would be like, okay, I want my son to join, I want my daughter to join, right. That sort of thing. And then it established to be Let's Conquer Math Academy. We're now on social media, and yeah, we continue to grow.
The name, Let's Conquer Math. Why Let's Conquer Math? What was the, what prompted that?
So, like I said, I started 2010. And I had over 10 years of experience, and I realized that math has been conquering a lot of persons. And I think more from my adult students at the point in time, they would come in frustrated, crying, oh my God, I've been doing math for 10 years, well, 10 times now, 5 times now, 4 times now.
And always getting a 4.
Yes, and it's like, I'm not getting it. It's so hard. And, you know, it's like, I can't get it at all. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to help you conquer it. And that is how the name started, Let's Conquer Math Academy.
All right.
Yes.
Now, I'm interested in this, really. Now, our topic this morning is overcoming dyscalculia.
Yes.
Tell our viewers this morning what dyscalculia means.
So dyscalculia is actually a math learning disorder or condition. I don't like using the word disability because it's very limiting, and it doesn't mean that if you have dyscalculia you cannot perform mathematical functions. It just means that you need to have a little more time and patience, you know, interacting with math in order to get, you know, the math concepts down. But I found out about dyscalculia earlier in the year, and I was very intrigued because one day I reflected on my past years of teaching, and I was wondering how many students would have come to class, struggled with math, and were like, oh, well, this person just not getting it. But they're not getting it probably because they have this learning condition, which, you know, affects your working memory. And, you know, if your brain cannot really understand the concept, it means that, you know, you have to go a little bit deeper and further with those types of students. So I became very passionate about understanding and learning what it is, so that when I'm teaching, I'm very much conscious of my students. And if I see any of the signs being displayed, then I could reach out to their parents and say, you know what, let them get tested, seek professional advice, etc.
Now, you indicated that you only discovered this term, the terminology, earlier in the year.
Yes.
Is it possible that for years and centuries before that, there are a lot of persons who would have experienced the symptoms of dyscalculia, but not have it labeled?
Yes, yes, and people are still experiencing the signs and symptoms, but they still don't know that it exists, because Thursday, a part of the Learning Disability Awareness Month, we did our part by, you know, shedding light on what dyscalculia is. And some persons on the live, including teachers, they were like, I've never heard this term before.
But now it makes sense.
Yes, it makes absolute sense to them. So yeah, it was the same thing with me. It was like, I never knew this existed. Wow.
Tell us about some of your stories, in terms of your success stories, in terms of students who would have come to you having difficulties with math, and you just seen them blossom before your eyes.
Yeah, like when I do my orientation, I always ask my students to tell me what is their perspective on math. And I get excited when they say, math is so hard, I don't know why I need to do it. Miss, this is not relevant in life, etc.
Yes,
and then I'm like, okay, algebra is so hard. I'm like, okay, I will make you like and understand math. And they're like, Miss, I think it's impossible. No. And, you know, they will go on and on and on. And then when you start showing them how real life mathematics is, and you start putting them in the situation and say, hey, you know what? So, for example, I remember sharing this example with Keelan. I said, Keelan, do you know every time you look up to pick a ripe, juicy mango, or you look at the moon or the airplane, do you know you have just created an angle of elevation? And he's like, what? I'm like, yes, that is a math term. You're actually doing it. Math is like applicable. We do math almost every day of our lives.
That was interesting.
Yes, you cannot get through math. You cannot get through the day without doing or applying mathematical concepts. And in terms of my success stories, so just recently, Joelle, shout out Joelle, well, shout out to Joelle. She came to me in March with a grade 2, and I helped her, you know, study for the exam that was in July, CSEC exam, and she actually came out with a distinction in math. Also,
from a 2
to a distinction in math. And also Malik, like, his story made me cry one time. I said, I'm not going up crazy, but you don't know how much your progress means to me. I remember when his mom called me, she was like, Miss, Malik's struggling with math. He's making, you know, he's not even getting a grade. So he started from ungraded, he moved to a D and now a C, and now he's scoring B's. So I'm like, Malik, yes, I know we have a way to go to get to the A's, but it's not just about getting A's. It's about the process. And more so, it's about being able to understand the language, speak the language, and once you can speak it, you can apply it.
And we have to say here, math is a language.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It is.
So we have English, French,
Yes.
Spanish, and math.
And math, yes.
All right. And I'm really happy to hear, you know, all of these success stories. In terms of the ages of the persons that you work with, are we talking primary age? Are we talking secondary level? Who are your students?
For now, we're dealing with the secondary level students. So I take students from first form to third form, and then I move them up to, well, I prepare them for the CSEC exam. But in the very near future, we want to start offering math classes for the primary level.
Okay. Now, are all of these classes taking place online?
Online, and I actually
How has that been for you?
For me, pretty awesome, because I tell some parents and some students as well, you cannot display everything mathematical on the board. So I have different apps that I use, and now I can zero in on different areas, especially for areas like transformation and construction. It's very difficult to teach construction on a board. So when you use the app, you actually have all the tools. You say, okay, you need to use the compass now, get your rulers, this is how you measure a line. If you're in a classroom, you'll have to go to each individual student to show them exactly how to get that done. So I love it. My desire is probably to stay online. I mean, yes, nothing beats the one-on-one interactive classes, but I have been enjoying teaching math online. And just recently, another student told me in times past, especially for transformation, only when I did the topic online with her, that was when she understood it. Times past, when she was in the classroom setting, she didn't understand it at all. So
it worked for her.
It worked for her.
All right, let's talk about adult interaction, adult classes. Do you have any adults saying to you, you know, I went through secondary school and I really did not get math. I didn't understand it. I am now in my 50s and this is something I think I want to conquer, you know, before I die.
Yes. Yes, I do have adult students. There are not as many as my school students, but yeah,
secondary, right?
Yeah, one or two adults would come to me and ask me to help them to prepare for the exam.
Yeah, and how can persons contact you? Because I'm sure that after this interview, there are a lot of persons who will say, "What's her number? I need this for myself. I need this for my child."
So you can contact me via telephone at 336-8310, or you can reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Let's Conquer Math. You can send us a direct message and we would respond to you.
Okay, and you said everything happens now online?
Online, yes, fully online.
I want to go a little bit more into this calculia.
Sure.
All right, and some of the signs and symptoms of it. I think we missed that a little bit earlier on.
Yes, so some of the popular signs of dyscalculia is one's inability to count backwards, to tell time, keep track of time, just understanding the different mathematical symbols. Sometimes they confuse those. Even when you, like, say you're doing an operation 3 plus 4, if you say 4 plus 3, they do not really understand that it means the same thing. Even visualizing patterns, and you know, math is all about patterns. Even their ability to visualize patterns is impaired. So once you have a combination of these symptoms, and there are others, I can't get into all of them today, but follow us because we are planning to, you know, engage with industry professionals to continue to shed some more light on some of the symptoms, interventions, testing, etc.
Very quickly here, what has this calculia been mistaken for previously?
Well, it is also known as number dyslexia.
Number dyslexia?
Yes, number dyslexia. So
Okay.
some people might know it as number dyslexia, but the scientific name that they gave it is dyscalculia.
Thank you so
Yes.
much for chatting with us this morning. Things we did not know, now we know. Now you know that you know. All right,
Yes.
so thank you so much, Leanne, for chatting with us.
You are most welcome, Ria.
And just
thank you for having me.
A pleasure. Could you give your number again, just one more time?
336-8310.
All right, thank you so much. Well, viewers, just before we take the break, we want to send out some birthday greetings to Sharon Alexander, celebrated her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday going out to you, Sharon. And so we go over to the good stuff before we take a break. So Tobagonian attorney at law Avenel Caruth Bernard graduated last Thursday from the University of West Indies Faculty of Law with her Master's of Law degree. She has also successfully completed her postgraduate diploma in intellectual property law as well from the University of the West Indies. Congratulations, Avenel. If you know someone or anything you would like to have featured on The Good Stuff, you can email us at info@tobagoupdates.com or call or WhatsApp 284-6597. 284-6597. We'll take a break, and when we come back this morning, Julian is going to be on set with Michelle Boris, Community Development Coordinator. Stay tuned.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Morning. Good morning, morning. Welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. It is 7:23 a.m. and in this segment we are chatting about community development, and to be very specific, Community Development Week. Welcome, Michelle Boris.
Thank you, Julian, and good morning to the viewing and listening public.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, Ms. Michelle Boris is the Community Development Coordinator within the Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development, and Labor. I got it correct?
Yes.
All right, good. So we're starting immediately by touching on, we know that there's some upcoming activities for the Community Development Week. But just before we go into those activities, just give us a little sense of how long has this been happening within the construct of the Tobago House of Assembly and within Tobago?
Okay, our Community Development Week started approximately 4 years ago. Our first ComDev Week celebration was in 2018, and it's been an annual event since then.
All right. Is it safe to say, given the timing, that this is part of the brainchild? I know her energy and her vibrance, Secretary Marceline Melville Jack.
It's not part of it. It was her brainchild, and there's a reasoning and a rationale behind it. I can share that with you as well.
Yes.
The long-term goal really is to, well, three main ones actually, to inculcate that sense of community pride among citizens, right? To build closer community bonds, and very importantly, to lend support to community-based projects and entrepreneurial pursuits.
Would you say safely that over the last 4 years that you've seen it achieving that objective?
Yes, because primarily the awareness has been created. As you know, the division is configured differently to how it was before, very uniquely configured. It's community development, enterprise development, and labor. You know, and that brings a sense of newness, a sense of realism, and a sense of pride, and we're zeroing in on building our communities.
All right. You know, when we're talking community development, I can't forget to shout out my friend at all because she's also viewing live. Thank you, Marva Baker, for tuning in to the live stream here this morning. So we're going into the ComDev week of activities. Give us a sense of what the full week looks like just by virtue of the areas, and then we will zone in to the startup activities, which I think is scheduled for as early as tomorrow. So just give us a broad sense of the week first.
The week starts on the 8th of November, so that's next Monday.
Next Monday, right?
All right. The theme for this week is celebrating our resilience, a very fitting theme given the current global pandemic that we're in, and how we're able to cope or navigate our way through this pandemic. Last year, we focused on the theme. Our theme for that week was community spirit on the rise. So this celebrating our resilience just follows through on what we started last year. So the week will entail, Monday we start with a Thanksgiving service in the morning. Later in the afternoon, that's Monday the 8th, later in the afternoon we have an island-wide hamper distribution drive for needy members in the communities throughout Tobago. On Tuesday, we have our vocational skills graduation and achievement at 5 p.m. And on Wednesday, we have a webinar put on by our Occupational Health, Safety and Health Department. And this focuses on the construction sector as the sector has now reopened, and how they're able to remain relevant in this time, and also treating with the various occupational safety and health concerns as it relates to responding to the pandemic. On Thursday, we have a seminar put on by our CPEP department, that's in the morning, and this has to do with survival skills, particularly from the standpoint of the pandemic again, looking at financial management, looking at coping with grief and other areas. On Friday, we end off with an island-wide treasure hunt early in the morning for staff. Clues will be set across the island from Charlottesville to Crown Point, and staff would be engaged in this exercise, which is quite exciting. In the afternoon, we have our business development unit will be showcased with a virtual business expo, which promises to be very dynamic as we showcase businesses that would have benefited from our grant and loans program in the division. Now, this entire week, which is the week before, different representatives from the division representing each department will be coming on the show. Great. To give greater support, and also to kind of drizzle down into exactly what each section proposes to offer.
Nice. And you know, let's go back to the start of the week, because we want to give a little more insight into that. I think this area falls within your broader scope in terms of the Thanksgiving service hamper distribution, that you should have some intimate information for that. And even if you don't, I'm putting you on the spot now. But when I hear Thanksgiving service, yes, forgive me, but I think of my neighbor Trisha Sobers, Bukaj Sobers. Yes. You know, good morning to you as well. Tell us about the Thanksgiving service and, you know, the essence of it for this startup. And is this open just to staff only, or they invite it an open invitation to members of the community to also join in? Tell us a little bit about the Thanksgiving service.
Good. Well, everything we do this week, this Community Development Week, would be a virtual experience, all right? Of course, in keeping with the current COVID-19 guidelines. So, yes, open to members of the public, but not to be physically present. They can tune in virtually. And yes, you mentioned Trisha. She's the one really, the engine room behind the Thanksgiving service. So, of course, I'm sure she'll be singing and other things.
We know her energy.
Right. And as with everything we do, we invite God's presence, first and foremost, to get things running.
All right. And what's the, I know usually from year to year, you all would go to different religious-based organizations, different faiths. Who will be leading this year?
Methodist, the Methodist faith. Last year, I think we did the Moravian faith.
Right.
So this year, it would be the Methodist faith.
All right, excellent. Good morning, Methodist. That's also my that's my area. That's
very
Methodist.
Good. So
yeah, that's my religion.
Make sure and
so
tune in.
Certainly, we're happy to have you all.
Yes.
All right.
Happy to be here.
Going beyond the Thanksgiving service, and just to remind our viewers, they'll be able to get that link to join in via your Facebook page.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Yes.
We are going into the hamper distribution area, and you know we are operating within a time where the demand is so much more than it has been in past times, given the COVID-19 pandemic and how it has affected so many families. Tell us about your process in terms of, you know, being able to determine which families actually are able to benefit from this hamper distribution.
Great. Well, fortunate for us, as the division charged with the responsibility for persons within communities, we have staff stationed in every community on the island. So they are in touch with what's happening. We also utilize our networking skills with our various faith-based organizations or community-based organizations, village councils, and so on. And they will provide pertinent information regarding persons who are really in need. We depended upon them very seriously over the last year or so, because we did embark on a program to ensure that we provided hampers throughout this pandemic period. So we would have covered at least between last April and now over approximately 400 families so far, right? So this is just part of our week, but it's part of what we have been doing, you know, throughout this pandemic.
Throughout the period. Have you seen yourselves naturally required to increase the distribution this time around because of the number of families that are really in need, or have you stuck with what might be your standard numbers over the years?
Well, we've had to increase naturally, and it meant that we had to deploy human resources additional and also financial resources. So in as much as we can, constrained by those resources, we will continue to provide the needed support and the additional support required. And also, by extension, you remember, it's not just our division that will be involved in this. So we partner with other divisions in this exercise so we don't duplicate resources or waste, for want of a better word, scarce financial resources.
Excellent. Well, that would make sense, especially in these times.
Of course.
In terms of ensuring that the persons that really need to benefit from
That's
it.
right.
Is there, I know you mentioned that the general avenue for reaching out is through the faith-based organizations that you all connect with. How does someone in the community that has not yet been reached, how do they make that contact? Do they contact the religious persons within their areas, the pastors, the various churches, or do they make direct contact with the Division of Community Development?
They can do all that, and they can also make direct contact with us.
All right. You just want to give them a contact number just for, you know, persons who may have that kind of challenge and would certainly like to reach out. Tell us.
639-4818, extensions 3004. 6, 8, 9, all the way to 17.
All right, great. So, folks, you have an opportunity there. It's 639-4818, and that is reaching out to connect through the community Division of Community Development in terms of hamper distribution. And as I think one of the good things that you've mentioned that I'm happy to hear,
Yes.
that it's not just limited to Community Development Week, because, you know, that's the general challenge in this space now where people believe, okay, these kinds of extra efforts are just tipped to an election time or an election period. So it's very good to hear that this has been happening over the course of the period. They said from as early as April last year,
Yes.
in terms of reaching out and connecting with communities. What has been the general response of people?
Well, it's been very overwhelming and touching in many instances, because when you hear of some of the stories or the situations that persons find themselves in, no result of their own actions, but by the consequence of this pandemic that we're facing, persons will share their very, what's the right word to use, their sentiments in terms of their happiness to receive, because really and truly I have a number of persons who would have lost their jobs and so many other different things that have happened to people during this pandemic period. So I believe we are making good on our promise, on our vision, our mission to really touch lives and impact people for good.
All right. So we're going to touch on another one of the areas that I think falls to squarely within community development.
Yes.
We have an upcoming graduation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this graduation is the first of its kind, our first ever virtual graduation. And this year, I'm particularly proud of the staff of the Department of Community Development and our tutors for partnering, for coping, for that whole stick-to-itiveness in terms of getting the program to where it's at. Meaning, prior to this past year, every year, this program has been around for over 20 years, and it has always been delivered by a face-to-face medium, right? Because it's a skills-based program. Right. And as a result, we started off wonderfully last year, February, and with approximately 1,800 persons registered for the program. We offered 78 classes, both day and evening, in 41 different skilled areas, 27 communities. We started off with a bang. It was awesome. We had to come to an abrupt end as a result of the onset of the pandemic, and we had to think quickly as to how we're going to overcome this hurdle. What we did, we had to train, first of all, persons in communities in the use of virtual platforms. We did that. We started last year into March this year. And we also specifically trained our tutors to provide the level of sharing of this knowledge and skill as we are accustomed to on a face-to-face basis. So this year, we had 22 classes in 19 skilled areas. We expect approximately 350 persons to graduate this year, all right, from the program. We are very excited about it because it's the first of its kind, first virtual, and I want persons to tune in because the quality and standard of work did not waver or falter by the side because it was virtual.
Well, I know the expectations are high.
Very high.
Because I heard Secretary Marcelin Melville Jack with confidence at the Post-Executive Council indicating that you can look forward to a gala virtual celebration.
Very
so, you
gala
know, naturally,
indeed.
everybody's prepared and ready to tune in to see what's happening in terms of the graduation ceremony. And it's also pleasing with regards to the numbers. How do persons normally get the opportunity to participate in these skills-based and training programs?
Well, normally every year we would have a registration process. We put the information out. And the thing about it is we advertise, but we don't need to. Because as soon as one program has ended, people are already clamoring for the next cycle. What we had to do because of that abrupt end that the program came to last year, those persons on register, we had to use some of those same persons for this year's cycle. And our intent is to offer that same service to persons for next cycle. All right? And possibly consider having a blended approach based on what happens with the COVID-19 restrictions.
All right. I know that there are several other areas which you will have members of the team from the division coming in to deal with. Is there any other area quickly you want to treat with before we wrap up this morning?
What I would like to add is that we can also look forward to our Gala Community Champion Awards, all right? And that is on Thursday, Thursday the 11th in the afternoon, of course, which will be showcased virtually, where we seek to highlight, showcase, reward, and encourage persons who continue to give of themselves in the community willingly without seeking remuneration. It is very important, I was sharing with someone recently, that we showcase, reward, honor people while they're here and not posthumously. We have so many instances locally, regionally, internationally, where after someone's gone, then you name a street after them or a building. We want to be proactive and continue to appreciate, especially persons who are involved in volunteerism, something that has been so impressed upon during this pandemic time.
Certainly. Viewers, we have heard it there, and I think, Michelle, it's safe to say community development keeps us very updated by way of your social media.
Yes.
And, you know, it also gives me an opportunity to shout out another friend at the division this morning. I know she has moved from the division, I think as of today, Crystal Kirk. And certainly by the celebrations I saw via social media, we know that her contribution was certainly valued at the Division of Community Development. So, folks, we have heard it there from Community Development Coordinator Michelle Burris, giving us a sense of the upcoming activities for this week. You are encouraged to tune in, follow the division's page, Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor. You'll get the links, you'll get all the updates to know where you play a part, Tobago, because this is community development and it's one of the obvious divisions that we can get involved in everything. You know why? Because we're a member of some community within the Tobago space. Viewers, this coming up next in our segment will be Jewel Green George with Rhea Richardson George. All right, so at this point, we go to a break. We invite you to continue to share the lives, share the lives, share the lives. This is Tobago Updates Morning Show. We'll be right back.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Showtime at Quartz. Shop today and save big on a wide selection of items. Get the best style and variety in furniture. Choose from the world's leading brands in appliances and electronics, plus the latest tech just for you. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 90 days. It's showtime at Quartz, bringing value home.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are coming to you live. We continue live with you right here at the Port Mall, 3rd floor Port Mall. We just want to let you know as well that it's a vaccination day today, vaccination drive right upstairs here at Port Mall in the open area. So we encourage persons, if you are not yet vaccinated and you choose to be vaccinated, you can come down to the Port Mall, Lower Scarborough, 3rd floor. Now, viewers, we're chatting this morning about National Authors Day, and to chat with us, we've got Mrs. Jewel Green George. I love that George at the end of her name. All right, and she's the marketing director of the Tobago Writers Guild. Jewel, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Ria. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you on our program this morning. Now, we say National Writers Day, but you say National Authors Day.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the genesis, the background to this day being recognized.
Well, November 1st is recognized as Authors Day in different territories, but never here.
Right.
So we decided one way to support authors and kind of encourage the transition from writer to author is to celebrate authors, published authors, right? So we decided to declare November 1st in Trinidad and Tobago National Authors Day.
Let's talk a bit about the difference between the two. A writer as opposed to an author. What's the difference?
So the difference is very small, but it's very significant. And the difference is really somebody who just takes pen to paper.
Right.
That would be a writer. So a musician, you write in your own music, write in your own poetry, write in your own songs, your own novels, your own stories.
Right.
But then you become published. So you produce your work for the general public to consume, and that's when you become an author. We don't usually consider musicians to be authors, but they also publish their work. They have CDs, they have DVDs, they put their work on digital media. And that's one of the ways we could support them, by bringing visibility to writers who are transitioning from just being a writer to being a published author.
And would they also be included into the Tobago Writers Guild?
Oh yes, the Writers Guild is open to all genres of literary arts. We encourage people from every genre to come in the guild because we offer support and nurturing to any genre of writing. So whether we have artists, we have musicians, we have poets, we have playwrights, we have people from all genres, and we have as far as field as Israel, we have a member.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about some of the local writers, because I think we take it for granted.
Yes.
And I'm talking all the way back to Paul Keynes Douglas, the days of Paul Keynes Douglas. And when I say Paul Keynes Douglas, I know I'm tipping my age because there is a generation out there that has no clue who he is. But tell us about some of the local writers.
Well, some of the local writers, and let me just distinguish for a second. We have a lot of writers across Trinidad and Tobago. But what we're specifically doing is putting some focus on the Tobago writers, the Tobagonian writers, as well as the writers who reside in Tobago. So they're giving you a very strong Tobago feel, a very strong Tobago culture. You get any essence of what's happening in Tobago from those writers. And some of those writers got together and decided to start the guild in 2006 because they realized there was nothing to support the literary arts in Tobago itself, something right here local. And there's Deborah Moore Miggins, Miss Laureen Boris, and we have Milka. Those are our founders. They, apart from some others, they founded the guild, but those three remain in the guild today, right? So we have a very old history, because even before that, they were promoting writing.
Yes, for a very long time.
Yes. So we have, apart from that, we have Reginald Phillips, and he is one of our most prolific writers. He's a farmer, an agriculturalist, and a writer. I don't even know how he fits it all in. Yeah, we have quite a few.
Makes us feel tired just thinking about what his day might look like. All right. No, I'm really happy to hear that. And in terms of the local publishers, is there a local publishing house to be able to take writers from point A writing to to being recognized or being published?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that, because recently the Writers Guild has incorporated a publishing house, right? And that publishing house is called the Tobago Writers Guild Publishing House. Really easy to remember.
Yeah,
right?
I think we would.
Yeah, and we're on Facebook, but the genesis of that again was to lend more support to our writers, right? And our local writers are needing that support, because sometimes you're writing, but you don't know after this what happens.
Right.
Can I just write on paper and get somebody to publish it? How does it work? How do I get from this pen to publication?
Right.
Yeah.
And how many persons so far have tapped into that resource? Let's talk a little bit about the writers, the most recent writers, those who have gone from pen to paper and are now published.
Well, we only started a few months ago taking on clients, but so far we have had editing work for 2 writers, and where we are taking them, you're taking them step by step. So you're holding their hand and just taking them a little way forward, and what we're doing right now is just editing their work to make sure it is ready for the print tree, right? So it needs to be formatted, it needs to be edited, and then the next step is for it to get printed, right? You also have to be able to get a book cover, because you want to represent your book visually, right? And that would include your name, the name of the book, what year it was published, your ISBN number, a barcode, you know, all of these great things, and a visual effect, because you want to grab the attention of the person who is looking at your book.
All right. Now you've got a webinar coming up. Tell us about the webinar, and you know, we're promoting writing here. We're promoting persons, you know, expressing themselves through print. So tell us about the webinar.
Well, we have, we started just to support the writers. We started a little WhatsApp chat with all our writers, right? And the genesis of that really evolved into something where we had one meeting and everybody was asking, listen, I need to know everything, the 411 about how to get published. So could we have some kind of support session? And we tried and we tried. We couldn't get everybody together, and we ended up having a webinar. You know, I came up with the idea, let's do a webinar where we can sit in one space and not just give our Tobago Writers Guild writers the support that they need, but provide information for all these other people who might be needing that information in Tobago and even in the region. So the webinar is called From Pen to Publication, and we really, as I said, giving the 411 to anybody who writes or who would like to know, who knows a writer, to tell them, okay, you start from just writing it out, perhaps you record yourself, your ideas, perhaps you type on the computer, perhaps you have a typewriter. But how do you get from there to a hard copy publication of your book? You know, and that's what the webinar is going to be dealing with. We start at 5 and we'll be streaming straight to our YouTube channel.
Okay, and for those persons interested out there, how can they contact the Tobago Writers Guild?
Well, the number is 620-5799. You can call the Tobago Writers Guild, 620-5799. The email address is tobagowritersguild123@gmail.com. And you can also find us on Facebook at Tobago Writers Guild, and on Instagram, Tobago Writers Guild. So it's really easy to find us.
Okay, then, are you in a position to give us an idea of the youngest writer/author?
Oh my gosh, yes. We have the youngest one, she was 19, right? But somebody came and knocked her out of her spot.
Wow.
A 9-year-old.
A 9-year-old?
Yes. I'm so sorry, I can't recall her name, but she wrote her own book, and we celebrated her on our Facebook page. So I'm going to have to tag you on that, right, Ria?
Definitely.
But this 9-year-old was so phenomenal. She wrote her own book. It's a children's book. And we want to encourage, we got to know her through her mother. But we want to encourage all writers of all ages. Never stop writing, and it's never too early to start, right? And it starts with reading. People get a love for writing by reading, and even sometimes by looking. Some people just have that skill, that talent, and they look around in society and they want to document what they're seeing and what they're experiencing.
Thank you so much for that. Viewers, there's hope for me yet. Maybe my book will be coming out pretty soon. You never know. All right, so thank you so much for chatting with us this morning, Mrs. Jewel Green George. Now, viewers, we're going to take a break. As we go to the break, we've got This Day in History. Stay tuned.
Showtime. time shop at Quartz. We got all the things you want.
It's showtime at Quartz. Shop today and save big on a wide selection of items. Get the best style and variety in furniture. Choose from the world's leading brands in appliances and electronics, plus the latest tech just for you. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 90 days. It's showtime at Quartz, bringing value.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on November 1st, 1878, the first formal recommendation for unifying Tobago with Trinidad was made by Lieutenant Governor Augustus Frederick Gore. Governor Gore was appointed by Queen Victoria to oversee Tobago affairs on September 29, 1877. He held this position until 1880. A year into his position and distressed over Tobago's finances, Lieutenant Governor Gore wrote to the Lieutenant Governor of the Windward Islands advocating a union of the two colonies, which would, in his estimation, result in savings to the crown. In that letter, Gore wrote, I am of the opinion that there is no necessity for maintaining the colony as a separate government. The distance from Trinidad to Tobago is only 18 miles from land to land, and if a good road were made from Port of Spain to Toco and a steam launch were employed, daily communications might be established between Port of Spain and Scarborough. The savings that would be effected by the move would be £3,775, which is $459,516 in 2020. Though proximity and economy were Gore's main considerations, he contended that further savings would follow as soon as the Trinidad government had a little experience in the wants of Tobago. This is Devon Adana, and this was This Day in Tobago History. Back to you.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Morning. It's Tobago Updates morning show. Welcome back, viewers. It's 7:55 a.m. and we are in the final segment here this morning. We want to use the opportunity to thank all our guests that were on this morning. And in particular, we have to do some shout outs as we go through the live.
Oh, yes.
Travis Moses, Dora Lyons, I see viewing with us as well. Ria Orr, I see you. I won't add on the other name that I call you by, but Ria Orr, I see you. Teresa Allen, good morning to you. Tuned in here this morning. Vernon Simon tuned into the live. Good morning to you this morning. Ria, the love and support, we continue to be very thankful to you. And thanks as well for continuing to ensure that you share the live so that others can benefit from this information.
All right. Well, I want to shout out this morning Nadine Davidson. This is one of the first times I'm seeing Nadine on. Nadine Davidson, good morning to you. My cousin all the way in New York, Alicia Richardson Williams, good morning to you, viewing via the live. We've got here Latoya Toysey is on with us. Ken Phillips is on with us this morning. All right, so we're saying good morning and lots of love going out to all of these folks. Simone, Carissa, Charles, Akola, Ashby, good morning to you.
And we have to give some special recognition. You see Latoya Anderson? I think almost every morning when I do a shout out, she is here. And not only that, she is also here sharing the live. And I'm sure she's rocking. She's there saying always, and we are so thankful for that because it's so important that Tobago continues to connect with us. And every one of you that continue to share this live, we continue to express our total appreciation for that effort. We want to remind persons this morning, because people have been asking, where can I send my information for the Good Stuff segment? Okay. People have also been asking, hey, I want to get in on this to advertise. People are tuned in. The viewership is going up. The viewership is increasing. Where can persons tune into, Ria? Okay, so for the Good Stuff, you can send your information to information@tobagoupdates.com, and that's info@tobagoupdates.com, and that's info@tobagoupdates.com, or you can call or WhatsApp 284-6597. And if you want to advertise, and we invite you to advertise with the Tobago Updates team, you can advertise and support us at sales@tobagoupdates.com, and you can also call
284-6597.
All right, and we just want to remind you as well of our sponsors. It's Courts, Port Mall, that we are coming to you live from, Caroline Birchwood James, as well as here, Sanctuary. And to remind you where you viewers that you can continue to view us each morning from 7 a.m. It's M&E TV, and that's Flow Channel 111, Digicel Channel 20, Amplia Channel 117, Airlink Channel 10, Blink Channel 109, and Trico Channel 154. Thank you so much, viewers. It has been a great morning with you today.
Right. And just to remind you again of the vaccination drive that is on today upstairs, Port Mall, 3rd floor, Port Mall. And viewers, remember, we are live here at the Port Mall, 3rd floor, Lower Scarborough. Let me tell you something. There's something so beautiful about Scarborough. On an early morning and late afternoon, we thank God that we live in Tobago. All right. So we are trusting that, all of our viewers, that you have a great day. Julian, it was a pleasure chatting with you this morning, being in your company always. All right, so we're wrapping up and saying goodbye to Tobago until tomorrow, God willing.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow, Tobago. Have a great day.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.